finally, a proposed new DUI bill in California could bring together penalties for repeat offenders, including more felony charges and longer license suspensions. Supporters say it's about improving public safety, while critics warn it could increase incarceration times. Joining us now to break down what this could mean locally is Grass Valley Police Chief Alex Gammelgard. Chief, thanks for being here today.
Hey,
How
no
are
problem.
you?
Thanks for having me.
I know you're a very busy man. So this DUI proposed bill, you told me before we started filming, is one of many that are at the state level. Can you give us the scope of what's going on?
Yeah, so in the state of California, there's a movement really to look at DUI crimes, the impact of them in communities, and make sure that we're up with the times on some of the best practices. So we're not consistent really, across our 50 United States, but there are areas where we're trying to find a little stronger alignment and also ensure that we're protecting our communities through stronger legislation.
And is this done typically, like do other states, also go through this process of comparing to what other states are doing?
Yeah, I think that's something that legislators are often doing. It's like, don't need to come up with a brand new idea if somebody else is already doing it well.
Right. So what's the range of what could be included in any new bill? What are the ones that stick out for you the most?
Yeah, some of the things that are going on right now, so there's almost 20 different bills dealing with either DUI or licensing issues around DUI conviction, things like that. One of them has to do with somebody who maybe has had multiple DUIs.
Right.
And
we don't want that person on the street.
Right. There's some data that shows, when somebody is arrested for DUI, it's probably not their first time. And so unfortunately, it tends to be a crime that's committed more than once. Some of those bills aim to provide a broader range of sentencing ability for the courts, up to and including making what we call a wobbler crime. So instead of a misdemeanor only on a repeat offense, it becomes a wobbler, which means it can be treated as a misdemeanor or a felony based upon the judicial
circumstances. Okay, got it. So it's up to the judge's discretion.
Oftentimes, with the way the laws are written, that's one of the bills that's being looked at.
Okay. Anything else that's interesting about the proposed bills, or?
Yeah, one of them that's really interesting, and it's timely that the legislature is looking at it because it has to do with how quickly technology is moving. So imagine you're driving, or you are seated in the driver's seat of a vehicle, and that vehicle has some level of autonomous ability. One of these bills will help define specifically what control is.
Who's in control?
Yeah, what is control and who is in control, and can you, so for example, we have like things like Waymo and fully autonomous vehicles where somebody might be in the back seat. It wouldn't change that, obviously.
Right.
But there's also cars that can have varying levels, and in the future will have more ability to be autonomous, and what level of intoxication looks like, and then what does control look like, and who's really in charge of what.
Yeah, interesting, huh? Well, speed control. I mean, if you're incapacitated and you're using your speed control in a bad way, that's a problem.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Is DUI a big problem in our area?
DUI is one of those things that crosses over all jurisdictional boundaries. Of course, population centers, theoretically there's more because there's just more people on the road.
Yeah.
But over the years, we've seen a decrease in the number of DUI offenders, and I think a lot of that is due to the educational piece of what our communities, law enforcement have been doing. And I think people have really taken to heart the message of have a plan before you go drinking, and don't drive intoxicated, and buzz driving is drunk driving, all of that. And so I think that's part of it, but we still see it, and we're still making arrests weekly in our communities.
I remember when my daughter was in college, even that was like a big deal. They did not go out and drink and just drive. And so that message has really gotten through.
Yeah, and has major impacts. But then these bills that are looking to go through might even make it more severe, because I think we're at this point in our society where it's really needs to be understood that it's not acceptable.
Yeah. And so is it your feeling, your professional feeling, that the current DUI bills are not enough, or not strong enough?
Well, my role, especially here, I'm in uniform. There's some rules about whether or not I can advocate versus educate.
Okay, got it.
I am in favor of public safety. I'm in favor of not seeing families have tragic incidences that come home to them that don't need to happen.
Right.
I think that, people should be held accountable for their criminal actions. And ultimately, what I want to see is fewer people driving drunk on the road.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Especially out on rural roads where
Mhm.
there's no way the police can possibly, patrol as much as they would be ideal, right? So,
Exactly.
okay, well, we'll see how this goes, and maybe when a bill or bills pass, we can have you back to interpret, what that means for our people.
Yeah, many of these bills are coming out of the Assembly of the state of California. They will work through the committees processes.
Yes.
Then they will ultimately go before the Assembly floor. And if they make it past that, then they go to the other house. They go through the same process. They go to the Senate. If they're passed there or vice versa,
Right.
then they would finally land for the governor. So
Right.
I wouldn't anticipate that all of these that we're talking about go through. And I would also anticipate that we will see some amendments for sure, maybe some consolidations,
Sure.
different things. But I do think you're going to see some action on it this
Yeah.
legislative cycle.
It'll take a while.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we'll have you back when
Sure.
that time comes. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for your work.
Thank you.